Why is the Joker so mentally unstable and ill? The Joker is often depicted as mentally ill due to a combination of factors including severe childhood trauma, a history of abuse, potential brain injuries, and a complex mix of personality disorders that manifest in his erratic behavior, delusions, and violent tendencies, often including symptoms like psychopathy, narcissistic personality disorder, and pseudo-Bulbar affect, depending on the iteration of the character. Surprisingly enough, the Joker has developed a cult-like following in the real world, which many people relating to the Joker and his mental mindset. The Joker's popularity stems from a complex mix of factors, including his chaotic nature, compelling backstory, often left ambiguous, brilliant schemes, and the way he represents a subversive force against societal order, allowing people to vicariously enjoy the thrill of disruption without actually committing harmful acts. Many fans are also drawn to the psychological depth and captivating performances by actors portraying the character, particularly Heath Ledger's iconic rendition in The Dark Knight. See, in the real world, clinical studies confirm that the Joker suffers from pseudo-Bulbar affect, a clinical condition that causes involuntary expression of emotions, such as uncontrolled laughing or crying. Here are some examples of real-life cases.
Scott. Yes. I'm good. No, you're not.
It's in my brain, I can't prevent it, and it'll choke up in my throat, and it's actually kind of painful at times.
Start crying, and I can't control it. See what I mean? I'm not unhappy. I'm not sad. It's just a stroke causing it.
Other studies have shown that the Joker is also hypersane and sees the world with such clarity that it drives him insane. Although this is still yet to be completely proven, there have been studied cases. The Scottish psychiatrist R.D. Laing thought of hypersanity as a state of higher consciousness that could be reached by a voyage of discovery, potentially one fueled by madness. Carl Jung had first-hand experience with this state of consciousness, as he psychologically recovered from serving as an army doctor during World War I. The Scottish psychologist, who also wrote extensively on mental illness and psychosis, discusses the idea of hypersanity in his work, The Politics of Experience. He introduces the unique conceptualization that mental disturbance isn't so much a breakdown, but instead a breakthrough, a stage in a healing process containing the possibility of entry into a realm of hypersanity. In short, hypersanity is essentially when you've reached a point that you are so sane that you appear insane to the rest of the world. Your actions, may appear bizarre in the minds of those around you, because those around you cannot comprehend the world the way you can. So that begs the question, who is crazy? The one person who sees the world differently, or the multitude of people who can't reach a level of insanity? Now, on top of all this, we still have to cover other key aspects of the Joker, such as dark triad traits. The Joker embodies the dark triad personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. These traits are reflected in his self-centeredness, manipulative behavior, and lack of empathy, which can be noted on his despicable act against Jason Todd, social identity, and chaos. The Joker's persona thrives on chaos and challenges societal norms. He questions the constructs of society, often pointing out the fragility of social order and morality. This can be linked to existential nihilism, where he believes life is meaningless, and he uses this as a justification for his actions.
They couldn't carry a tune to save their lives. Oh, why is everybody so upset about these guys? If it was me dying on the sidewalk, you'd walk right over me. I pass you every day and you don't notice me. But these guys, what, because Thomas Wayne went and cried about them on TV? Everybody just yells and screams at each other. Nobody's civil anymore. Nobody thinks what it's like to be the other guy. You think men like Thomas Wayne ever think what it's like to be someone like me? To be somebody but themselves? They don't. They think that we'll just sit there and take it like good little boys, that we won't werewolf and go wild.
Theatricality and symbolism. The Joker uses theatricality and symbolism to make his actions more impactful and meaningful, often employing elaborate schemes that serve as dark, twisted forms of social commentary. Projection and transference. He projects his own chaotic view of the world onto others, often dragging them into his distorted sense of reality. He also uses transference, making others confront their hidden demons and moral dilemmas. Now, one of the most impactful and tragic aspects about the Joker's mental state of mind has to be his childhood and upbringing. Although this aspect of his life has barely been explored, we do get to witness a glimpse of his childhood through the eyes of the Joker himself. Take a listen.
Fine. You want to know how I got these emotional scars?
I'm listening.
All right. I'll admit my parents weren't too fond of me.
What makes you think that?
Let me see. Quote, "Son, we're not fond of you. My parents were wealthy, but they never gave me much, especially not their attention."
So, you must have spent a lot of time alone.
Well, I had Mr. Ferris.
Was he a role model for you?
He was a ferret, a beautiful beast. With gorgeous ringed fur, Mr. Ferris, the ferret. Being an only neglected child, the pet was a brother to me. We were inseparable. Until one night, while Mummy was away, I made the mistake of wandering into my father's study. There I found dear old Dad with our maid, naked. He roared at me, so I rushed out, went straight to bed. Hadn't even had supper. After all, the maid was busy. The next morning, I found Ferris's cage empty and Daddy above it with the widest smile I'd ever seen. That day, my father took away the one thing I'd ever loved. Then he beat the shit out of me. I just remember him standing over me, punching and laughing, laughing and punching and punching.
I have to say that understanding the Joker through psychology helps illustrate the complexity of human behavior and the potential effects of psychological disorders, trauma, and existential views on a person's actions. Thanks for watching.